What is up, ego hackers? Doing a video in my car because, apparently my room is just utter garbage when it comes to acoustics. So we're gonna do it here. What people end up asking me a lot of the time is, why I decided to lose weight, which is kind of a weird question when you think about it because it's kind of obvious why somebody would want to lose weight, but I'm doing it very steadily with no setbacks. So it's like, yeah, fair enough. They're like, okay, what's driving you? But the issue is when I tell them what's making me lose weight, that becomes kind of an issue. When they ask me why I'm losing so much weight, I say, because I want a boyfriend. And inevitably, the next sentence that they say is, what do you mean you can get a boyfriend at any size? And then I have to say to them, I want a quality boyfriend. I mean, you could make the argument that there's no such thing as a quality man, like all people are equal, but come on. When I say I want a quality man, you know what I'm talking about. A quality guy is somebody who can speak his mind without caring about the consequences of what I'm going to react as. Somebody that's basically reaction independent. Somebody who has their financial situation together. And somebody who's ambitious. Those are like the three things, the bare minimum of what you need to be a quality guy. Have a future in mind, basically. So those are the three things that are my standards for a guy. That's not a lot of guys. So with that in mind, I have high standards. So the reason that I'm losing all this weight is so that I can meet his standards. Because if I'm going to have such high standards of a man, I need to bring my standards for myself up. I want him to bring his best. I gotta bring my best. Pretty simple, right? People want to be like, it's so shallow to want a guy for his money and ask him to be a bad boy and all that. Why can't you like a nice man that lives with his mom? What's wrong with that? Well, first of all, Jesus fucking Christ. Just listen to yourself for a second. So there's actually a very logical reason for why women want guys with money and why they want bad boys. And the reason is they want somebody that can protect their children. They want, instinctively, they want somebody that has the resources, money, and the fight, the toughness in order to protect his own resources and his woman and his children. That's the reason you want a bad boy. Somebody that is willing to be confrontational, that will tell you when they think you're wrong, you know, because leaders, they're not fucking pushovers. You want a man that's a leader, right? You want a man that's going to take care of your household, that's going to take care of your children. Because when you're all pregnant, and when you're all irrational and scared because you're in a very vulnerable position, your body is kind of compromised because you're pregnant, right? You want somebody that's going to be able to protect you. You don't want like Joe Schmo living with his mom and like asking you to cuddle him all day while you watch Netflix and eat popcorn like you're a bunch of like domesticated hamsters or rats. Like, that's not realistic. Your life is still, you can still die. Like, you need to operate and select your mate as if you can still die. And you need to operate in general as if you can still die. The reason that you as a woman want a man that is a leader is because you want to protect your children. And you want to make sure that you have somebody that's facing life with you as a warrior. Because life is too scary to be facing it with a mama's boy. So now that we've gone over my needs, women's needs, let's go over what men need. Men need a good mother. Women need a good father. Men need a good mother. What makes a good mother? Well, first of all, you need to be able to respect him because he needs to know that you're not gonna, like, run off with his child. He wants you to make sure that the kid is not gonna be raised by a maniac. So, obviously, stability, loyalty, respect. That's very important. But what's even more important than that is that your body is evidently physically sustainable to carry a child for 9 months. There's a lot that can go wrong in a pregnancy. There's a lot that can go wrong in childbirth. If a guy respects himself, he is instinctively thinking, I want the best possible conditions for my child to grow in. So, respectable wife, healthy mother. If you care about what your man needs, and you also care about your children's future, it's a pretty safe bet that you might want to do this. Like, there's so many benefits to having a fit body. And I'm not kidding when I say that, oh my god, I'm not kidding when I say that the quality of the guys that you interact with and the quality that they're willing to bring out of themselves when they see that you respect your body and you respect yourself and you carry yourself in a manner which you are confident in expressing yourself. It's just a higher quality interaction. It's honestly such an ego boost to have, like, a fit guy start stumbling, like, a fit, gorgeous guy just stumbling over his words, and I'm just like, I'm just me. What do you, like, if I'm still getting used to it, I'm still not used to it. I try to not let it go to my head because that's just an ego rub. And it's like, yeah, I can enjoy it in the moment, but that's not my end goal. Oh, here's another big thing. When people approach you, you don't feel as guilty about saying no. Like, somebody literally today asked for my number, and I was just like, no, you're not getting my number. I do not work this hard on my body to get somebody that does not work that hard on anything. Granted, I didn't say this to his face because that would be very rude, and a man is still a man, and I try to respect everybody. I mean, the guy that asked for my number, he basically had his friend, who is way more charismatic, ask for it for him when the guy was kind of trying to guilt me about it, which guys will tend to do. It's like, oh, because you know, sympathy and everything like that. It's like, oh, you turned him down so fast. Like, yeah, think about it. I understand my value. And even when women don't have as much value accrued because they're not as working as hard, they still have those instinctive standards saying, hey, this guy isn't that high quality. But the thing is, they don't feel justified in saying no because they aren't at that place yet. So once you get to that place, it's like, choo choo. It's way easier to say no, and you feel more justified, and your mind's a lot clearer. And you don't have this weird cognitive dissonance where you understand that your standards are high, but you are also conflicting with the, oh, but I'm now alone, and I have to choose somebody because I'm not willing to put my ego on the line and work hard in order to get to a higher level so that I'm at my standards. When I was about 230 pounds, I was with a guy that was a chubby chaser. He lived in... I spent $2,000 to go see him. Overall, I spent $2,000 on the whole trip. On this trip, I was so convinced that he was the one. He had some of the qualities that I was looking for. I was a virgin at the time. He had some of the qualities that I was looking for. He could hold a good conversation. He was intuitive like me, and there was a little bit of false synchronicity going on. He was an INTP, I'm an ENTP, but I respected him to some extent. He didn't have his life together though. I mean, I don't want to get into it, but basically, I spent $2,000 on that trip. he saved up money too, but when it came time to have the actual trip, he fell ill, and he ended up blowing all the money that he saved up for me. He spent that on a new PC. He spent that on computer parts. And during the whole trip, he didn't lift a finger to do anything for me. Nothing. Not even... not even in the bedroom. And I think back on this, and I'm just like, why would I do so much for somebody that obviously wasn't into me? I would never do that now, because I understand my value. Don't let yourself get cheated by your own ego, because that's really what it is. After I went, there was this whole thing that happened where I suddenly had to move, and Brandon took me in. I don't know why I gestured. I don't know why I gestured over there. Brandon is not over there. But, Brandon took me in. You know who Brandon is. He's on the channel. But, he took me in, and he basically was my fitness trainer, my personal trainer, and my nutritionist for 8 months. When he heard me talking to this guy, when he heard a conversation between me and my ex, when we were still together, after the conversation ended and the call ended, he looked at me and said, "That guy doesn't love you. He doesn't care about you." And when he told me that, I started to cry, because I knew he was right. I could feel that he was right. We're constantly kidding ourselves about... we're constantly kidding ourselves when we do that cognitive dissonance thing. When we don't put in the hard work, and we settle, and we ignore our standards. And the people that are in these relationships with us are ignoring their standards too. Oftentimes what happens is that you're with somebody that wouldn't actually lift a finger for you. Whenever they do have to, there's always resentment. There's always strings attached. They whinge and complain. There's no passion for you. And they might pretend that there is. But there is a huge difference between somebody that will put up the facade through guilt and somebody that actually is passionate about you. Everybody wants to be like sexual attraction is like such a dirty, trashy thing. Oh, it's so... there's so many ulterior motives behind it. It's like, no, not really. Sexual attraction is a gateway to love. And when somebody loves you and they're actually passionate about you, they will actually do crazy amounts of things for you. They'll protect you with their life. Like, obviously. Because if you are a potential mother, a good woman and a potential mother, that means that you are, in an abstract way, the future. You're the future for their children. Of course they want to protect their future. So, let's not downplay sexual attraction either, okay? Anyway, since that happened, since I broke up with my one and only ex, even though I haven't been with any other guys yet, the guys that show little traces of attraction for me, like true attraction, they've done more for me than my ex ever did. Brandon has done more for me than my ex ever did. My ENFJ friend has done more for me than my ex ever did. My ENTJ friend has done more for me than my ex ever did. This guy that supposedly loved me when I was 230 pounds didn't lift a finger for me. Weight loss is not about vanity. It's about self-respect. It's about coming to grips with your standards, humbling yourself in order to change your body, and going through the trials and tribulations that you need to in order to have what you truly want. I don't have what I want yet, but I can see signs of it happening all around me already. Trust me, it's worth it. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's promising. If you told me that I was going to look the way that I look right now, if you told me that 2 years ago, I wouldn't believe you. People can move fast. Time isn't as limiting as you think. There's always time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know how to finish, so